So this is the Darvarad.
Look at this. It's an alluvian graveyard.
Where did the Qunari get all these? How long have they been studying alluvians? The sooner we stop this invasion plan, the better.
The writing on these pages is completely incomprehensible, even to a native speaker of Qumlat. The handwriting resembles the scratches of an inebriated chicken, but the drawings are meticulous, an excruciatingly careful study of several alluvians, along with exploded diagrams of their inner workings.
Oh shit, that can't be good. You all right?
We should hurry. Here they come!
So, about this war. You know things didn't end well for Kirkwall the last time the Qunari got angry. I really hope we settle this fast. I've seen all the burning cities I ever want to see.
Quite the door.
Before we take care of the door, let's actually go up here. This letter was clearly written a few lines at a time over the course of multiple days, as the ink at the start has already faded slightly. Elf who is Talus, it is no longer my role to instruct others in the Qun, but I will share what I can with you if it brings you peace. You are not alone in your struggles to achieve mastery of yourself and your purpose. Many Vidithari come to the Qun filled with fear and anger. These feelings build walls, brick by brick, within the self. They prevent you from seeing the others around you, from seeing the world as it is, and they convince you that you are alone and in darkness, that you must fend for yourselves. The walls are real, but the darkness and the solitude, the world that they create within the self, that is all illusion. You must work to tear down the walls if you wish to see the truth, and the truth is this: no one is alone. It was the wisdom revealed to Aislin in the desert long ago. What looks like solitude is connectedness. What looks like darkness is only the space between stars. Like, shut up. That is just too good. This portion of the letter, though, is slightly newer, and the handwriting, which was exceptionally tidy at first, has become looser, as if written in a hurry. So he goes on to talk about being an Ashkari and how he used to spend days examining the philosophy of the Qun and trying to seek the enlightenment that Aislin found. But my dreams of demons took me down a new path. Here the writing is filled with crossed-out passages, and the script becomes shaky. Some of the ink is still wet. And now with the song Liquid crossed out, and now I study the dam which holds back magic at its source. We will, crossed out. It is our purpose to, crossed out. Things change, little Talus. The world changes. Find purpose in people around you, and your role will be clear. Remember when, crossed out, it will be hard to find wisdom in the noise. The noise is an illusion, like the darkness, but the walls are real. Remember that. Tear down the walls first, and you will see the truth. Sareth. Equally parts wise and mad.
Red lyrium? Do the Kunari have any idea what they're dealing with?
The song is different, but the pieces fit together.
Is that an astrarium? How did the Kunari move it here?
A word of advice, stay away from the glowing pyramid.
You got it. So we need some Veilfire. We just had Dorian light this one down here, which works out because lighting the Andral Owl is the first step in this puzzle. So we already got step 1 done. And go to the top floor. Excavated mural believed to be a self-portrait by Fen'Harel. Yep. One sees the hunter, the owl, one flees from it, the Hala, one hunts it in turn, the dragon, and one outwits them all, Fen'Harel, the wolf. So second, the Gillenon Hala, and then lastly, the Mythal dragon. And down back to the bottom to get our loot. Oh, and just because we can, let's go light these off. We skipped the fireworks back at the Winter Palace, so we might as well do our own here. Much more Ash's speed. Logs of a Darvrad gatekeeper. In the morning, artifacts brought in by Hisrakith, original location not on manifest. Asked Ishkari, was told they're from ruins. Please remind agents that all relics be properly cataloged, or the Tarbus will never stop complaining about it. And then in the evening, Hisrakith reported back. Ishkari handed me manifest that just said outside Darvrad, asking my Sten for a knife. I don't remember if there's a trick to this. I know you just have to get the bars retracted to their farthest point.
That's it. Get them all like that and we're in.
Oh, I guess this one's not far enough. Almost. Here we go.
It's open. Let's go.
Stop backing away. Oh, come on. Just let her hit you. That'll do it. The Dragon's Breath must continue regardless of concerns at the Winter Palace. Many are new to the Qun and have not yet learned to trust. Your worry is understandable. The rest of the world has betrayed you. All who have been to the Darvarad know the difficulty of maintaining the specimen for extraction for as long as we have. If we delayed Dragon's Breath, we would have to dispose of the specimen. Creating Gatlock is normally a slow process requiring much mining and careful alchemy. Venom extraction offers the only means to deliver the Dragon's Breath quickly and in large quantities. To delay Dragon's Breath is to lose any chance of bringing peace to the South without needless suffering. The Qun demands we save the workers of the South from a bloody war and deliver them into our teaching before corruption further overtakes the land. Others have voiced concern over the specimen. The Qun does not demand cruelty to any living being, but all creatures have a place and a duty under the Qun. The specimen serves as it must. When Dragon's Breath is complete, it will be extinguished quickly and painlessly, as when we slaughter animals for food. Allow your superiors to deal with the agents of Fen Harel, and remember your role in service to the Qun. Sent to Palace again, moving things along. Boss Shems never noticed who comes or goes. When the Dragon's Breath comes, they won't know what hit him. Like always, the Qun full of such contradictions. This document appears to be written entirely in Qunlat, but contains a number of complicated diagrams, including detailed blueprints of Halam Shiral and a number of other palaces and fortresses.
Morgan said the key to an Illuvian could be anything, including knowledge or power. So they're stockpiling both. That's how they got the keystone and opened so many of the Illuvians we've seen. We need to put a stop to this, and fast.
Ooh, not good. A letter with an Inquisition seal sits half buried in a pile of memos. On behalf of the Inquisition, I must humbly inquire as to the hostile actions of your agents in Halam Shiral. If the Qunari people do not wish to provoke retaliation from the Chantry, these hostilities must cease at once. Respectfully, Ambassador Josephine Montelier. And then, in response, the Triumvirate of the Qunari people wishes to assure you that despite the loss of the dreadnought Barithlock and its crew of 100 souls in a failed joint mission with the Inquisition 2 years past, military action has not been approved against the Inquisition. No one in Parvalen has authorized action of any kind involving the Exalted Council, nor will they. Sure. We are seeking out the Ben Hasrath priest, who appears to be leading this operation without our consent. Once she is located, we assure you that these hostile actions will cease.
It's the Veil. It wants to be back, but it's trapped on you. I don't know how to help.
It's alright, Cole. Just keep moving.
Dragon's Breath is an actual dragon?
Tethar! Bars!
Inquisition! Nira Atasiasara! Miraba Sadim Kata! You have come far enough, Inquisitor. No more.
This is just some instructions on how to create the primers using dragon venom. And I think this is the last one. Animal Handler's Logbook. So this entry is about keeping the dragon in captivity and how they've been confining it with chains and fire and extracting its venom, just torturing it, really, and how some of the Kunari are against it. This one worker refers to the dragon as a Tashi, which means something like great thing, as Bull has told us. And, you know, Ash agrees. Yes, she is a dragon hunter, but I think now that she shares this connection with Mythal and has allied with the dragon to stop Corypheus, she's more sympathetic and sees the animal's personhood. You know, so I think she's going to try to free this Atashi here instead of slaying it. Moral of the story, animal cruelty is wrong, everyone. Yep, got it? Okay, so let's get to it. Let's make sure our friends stay out of the line of fire here. Oh, the line of acid? Yeah, you know what I mean.
The Kunari obviously need the dragon's venom. No dragon, no more plan.
She's scared. She doesn't want to be here. They hurt her.
Good thing that's not what we're trying to do here.
We just need to open the gate.
Now, she could probably use the backup out there.
Atashi Itwa! Keresam!
Yes! We're helping her! She's free! She's leaving!
Pashara! Dear Inquisitor, you have such little time left. You must finally see the truth. Elven magic already tore the sky apart. If the agents of Fen'Harel are not stopped, you will shatter the world as well.
Whatever you think I've done, mass assassination isn't a good moral high ground.
The South was poisoned by these elves' manipulations. It suffers just as you do now. You would have died from the mark on your hand, but for the help of one of their chief agents. The same agent who helped seal the breach, who led you to Skyhold, who gave Corypheus the orb, then founded the Inquisition. Solas, agent of Fen Harel.
Damn it, Chuckles. What have you done?
Just because she loves the man doesn't mean she's not her own person.
Whatever Solas is involved in, I am nobody's puppet.
That's right.
Even now, you refuse to see the strings. Solas tricked us all. He pushed a dying Qunari into the Winter Palace to lure you into opposing us. Without him, we could have brought the South peace and wisdom along the gentle path. Now we must take the way of blades. Anaheda, Inquisitor. If it is any consolation, Solas will not outlive you.
Get ready for Dorian and Varric's response here.
That's why Solas left. He's been helping us fight the Qunari all this time. We have to save him.
They're just still mad at Solas for leaving Ash, and they're just worried about their friend, so they're coming from a good place. But of course she wants to save him. Cole gets it.
Up there!
It's going to... Everyone back!
Anchor meltdown. When the focus reaches full power, the anchor discharges uncontrollably, damaging you and your allies. So it's even more painful and difficult to discharge on her own, but get ready for Ash to do it a lot, because she's not about to let these three get hurt.
We've got to stop this before it kills you. Assuming we find him, maybe Chuckles can help.
Solas doesn't want to hurt people. He isn't that kind of wolf. The Qunari don't see.
That must be where Solas is.
There's the big Sarabas who's always with the Vidasala.
Cerebus, Rethrol, Shukra!
Come on over. Oh, okay. Well, he came on over.
He's coming to stop us!
Is no longer following orders.
We know that
You
word.
will not leave here, Inquisitor. Antam, Ibrashal Gadim!
Well, this is gonna be overkill. But we still have plenty saved up for the big guy.
You are dead, Inquisitor! Your soul is dust!
vulnerable. Use your mark.
Whew. Well, we did it. And now... Oh my goodness, why am I so nervous? Moment of truth.
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maraskata!
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Qunari to trouble me no further.
Solas.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
Yes, but not the ones you might think.
The Qunari answered some of those questions. The information I found while traveling through the Illuvians answered more. You're Fen Harel. You're the Dread Wolf.
Well done. I was Solas first. Fen Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. And now you know. What is the old Dalish curse? May the Dread Wolf take you?
You know, all of these options are so good. If she says the tearful response, they'll get to talk about their relationship. But she also says, I loved you, past tense, and she still loves him very much. In fact, maybe even more now that she has learned what a hero he was to their people. But really, Ash was so crushed when he left, and she's been waiting 2 years to call him a liar to his face. I also love how they look at each other with this one, so...
Maharel Lassa!
Only by omission.
Malasa Banal Gilana!
What would you have had me say? That I was the great adversary in your people's mythology?
I would have had you trust me.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
How did creating the Veil destroy the world?
You saw the remains of Via Dethara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. Your legends are half right. We were immortal. It was not the arrival of humans that caused us to begin aging. It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evenuris.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Evenuris were Elven mages? How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evanuris.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythol, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanuris are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanuris would have destroyed the entire world.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanuris down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the Elven people, even if it means this world must die.
She completely understands the desire to bring the Elven people back to their former glory, but the cost is too high. The thought of losing Dorian and Varric and Cole and Sarah, everyone she loves, she can't support that. She has a new family to protect now.
You're going to destroy this world?
Not happily.
I'll have to stop you.
I know you will try. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for the agents of Fen Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
What would have happened if Corypheus had died, and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil. As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
So at least some of the stories about the Dread Wolf are true.
I did not lead a rebellion against immortal mage kings without getting my hands bloody. You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade. It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
We aren't even people to you.
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
For whatever it's worth, thanks for the castle.
For whatever it's worth, you used it well.
You control the Illuvians now?
Yes. You remember Briala from Hallam Shiral? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Canary plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Canary spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Canary body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
Why bother disrupting the Canary plot if you're going to destroy the world regardless?
You have shown me that there is value in this world, Inquisitor. I take no joy in what I must do. Until that day comes, I would see those recovering from the breach free of the Qun.
Why?
Because I am not a monster. If they must die, I would rather they die in comfort. In any event, it is done.
I guess we owe you for that one too.
I hope it gives your people some final peace.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
I know, Venan. And we are running out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
And now, her parting words. They translate to something like, "Our love will persevere." Or maybe, "Our love will change your mind."
Solas! Varla Vir Suladin!
I wish it could, Venan.
No!
My love. I will never forget you.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
We apologize for not informing the summit beforehand. We were concerned.
Of course you were! The Canary spies were inside your organization!
Without our organization, you would not be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
When she started the council, Ash wanted nothing more than to keep the Inquisition, her legacy, alive. But that was also when she thought she was gonna die. Now she has a new purpose, so she's gonna focus on stopping Solas without worrying about politics and traitors. She'll work with the people she knows she can trust from now on. So just as one final FU.
You all know what this is. A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. It wasn't a formally authorized treaty that saved Ferelden's people. It wasn't careful diplomacy that ended your inane civil war. It was never about the organization. It was about people doing what was necessary. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to save. Again. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world, and hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. With the Dragon's Breath disrupted and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Qunari retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalan, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. While she often disagreed with Liliana's policies, the former right and left hands of the Divine shared a mutual respect and worked well together. Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterhorn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to a purpose few outside the Order could guess. The end of the Inquisition as it had been sent shockwaves through the College of Enchanters. Madame de Fer ably played on the mage's fears. Her followers united to build a new circle, with Vivian as its Grand Enchanter, in direct competition with the College. What the circle lacked in numbers, they made up for in political connections. Soon they were a force to be reckoned with. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. After the Exalted Council, Leliana devoted herself fully to the Sunburst throne and her dream of reshaping the Chantry. Within a year, she removed restrictions surrounding Chantry priesthood, allowing people of all genders, hopefully not just men and women, and of all races to be initiated and ordained. This decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return the Canticle of Shartan to the canonical chant, a move that divided Andrastians deeply. A rebellion to renounce her and return the Chantry to its former state arose, beginning first in Orlais, then spreading to other parts of Thedas. Divine Victoria was resolute, holding her ground even after several unsuccessful attempts on her life. Seemingly unconcerned with the assassination attempts, she held up the hostility leveled against her as proof that she was on the right path. After the Exalted Council, Tom Rainier bid farewell to his friends and went to Weishaupt Fortress to pledge himself to the Grey Wardens for good. While he was rarely seen in the years that followed, some said they encountered Rainier in far-flung lands, their accounts always similar. Rainier carried out the duty of the Wardens, but always found time to help others along the way. Sometimes he served as a shield for the defenseless. Other times, he spread simple cheer among children with gifts of small carved toys. With the Inquisition disbanded, Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. She was soon approached by an agent from the House of Repose, whose assassins had been killed by Inquisition agents on Josephine's behalf. Far from being offended, the House of Repose was inquiring as to whether Josephine might have need of their services. She quickly persuaded them she had no need for assassins, but instead hired them as guards for the Montillier's new trading vessels. Rivaini pirates looking to rekindle an ancient feud soon learned that the Montillier's ships were not lightly boarded, and her house prospered greatly. With the Inquisition disbanded, the Bull's Chargers returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order to Thedas. After the Inquisition disbanded, Cullen retired from active service. He returned to Ferelden, establishing a sanctuary for former Templars on land Divine Victoria granted to him. With his help, many Templars shed their lyrium addiction, and those whose minds were too far gone spent their last days in comfort. And he promised that, should his friends from the Old Inquisition ever need him, his blade would be ready. Varric took up the role of Viscount, and with the help of his friend Hawke, rebuilt Kirkwall's damaged infrastructure. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as a major trade hub of the Free Marches. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. With the Inquisition disbanded, Sarah joined the Inquisitor in officially retiring from scaring people in high places. By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives, nowhere special, doing nothing much at all. And, with that comforting lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all was back to normal. Meanwhile, Red Jenny, an entirely separate person, not at all collectively embodied by Sarah the Inquisitor and countless friends, continued to make a difference, or just have fun, where and when the impulse struck. With frequent visits to her widow, of course. Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the Divine. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Red Jenny to give them 2 fingers. Oh, brother. And Dorian returned to Deventer to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Maevaris Tilani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to restore and redeem Tevinter, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Pavus' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. Cole took to the road with Meriden to find a new life and a new way to be human. Wherever Meriden went to sing, people found old pains eased and hearts made happier, even if they didn't understand why. After the events at the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Thedas. None could say where they went, but those who believed the Inquisitor's story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dreadwolf's forces were. And what the ancient elven rebel had planned. Lavellin sometimes came awake from dreams in which her lover watched her sadly from across an endless distance. If they were more than simple dreams, she could not say. For every time she reached for him, he vanished into nothing. Still she searched, and dreamed, and waited for a way to change the Dreadwolf's heart.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solas knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself, if we can.
Well, folks, that's another story told. Thank you so much for everyone who watched this series and enjoyed this game I adore and this character that I grew to love so much. You know, Aislin was definitely the underdog with her blunt, sarcastic ways, but hopefully you got to appreciate the nuances of her character because she really was one of my most complex characters, I think, and just such a fun one to play. And I can't wait to see her again soon. Let's hope the last decade has been kind to her and Dorian, and Varric, and Solas, and I really hope that Ash gets to have that grappling hook prosthetic that we saw in the Red Jenny portion of the epilogue there. And okay, this is already running too long, so I'll wrap it up and just say thank you once again, and Maravis and I will see you soon in Tevinter.